Closed cities are those that have very little to no access from anyone outside of them. The public, regardless of who you are, would not be permitted to enter the city, and majority of those on the inside would not be allowed to leave. Now, this may seem like some primetime Soviet Union Cold War action here, but there are many examples of these places within the United States. Let's take a look. We're going to start with a Cold War fact. Between 1957 and 1962, around one-third of the United States was closed to Soviet citizens. In fact, there were only 8 states that were completely available for them to travel through. We continue back a few more years to the heat of the action during World War II. In 1942, America was facing pressure that Germany may have the upper hand on nuclear technology, and knew something needed to be done. The Manhattan Project was born under the Office of Scientific Research and Development, and so did our nuclear bombs. But to do so required utmost secrecy, and our closed cities come into play. They needed to be secretive, far enough apart so that they would not be attacked or confiscated simultaneously, have some kind of natural protection, while also being nice enough to attract the top talent and their families to the area. Welcome in Los Alamos, New Mexico, Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and the areas of Richland and Hanford in Washington. Now you may think that these cities changed after the World War was over, but you would be mistaken. It was not long until the Cold War began with the USSR that these sites continued operating. Richland, Washington hosted 25,000 people during the project, and residents were finally given back the keys in 1957. Oak Ridge, Tennessee had a population of 75,000 and housed what was at the time the largest building in the world. It was also believed to be the headquarters of the project. Citizens were allowed to re-establish a government in 1959. Los Alamos, New Mexico was thought to be the most important site of the entire project because it was where they could conduct the testing and is home to the atomic bomb. It hosted 6,000 people, including multiple Nobel Prize winners. Today, it is considered a census-designated place, not an official city, and is home to the Los Alamos National Laboratory. But the next one on our list is even more mysterious than those. Mercury, Nevada was formed in 1950 as a military-style closed village and remains that way today. The purpose was simple. America needed more space to test its nuclear weapon strength to keep up with the Russians. It grew to a population of 10,000, and in the 1960s, an airport was even built so President John F. Kennedy could come and visit. Thankfully, there are no known accidents, but the activity has started to decline in the area since the Comprehension Nuclear Test Ban Treaty was signed in 1992. Somewhere around 500 people remain, but the exact number is unknown, and it is currently called the Nevada National Security Site. Another census-designated location is in Dugway, Utah. It was founded in 1942 when the U.S. Army began operations at Dugway Proving Ground. The focus was around chemical and biological weapon defense systems, and they worked with incendiary bombs and modified aerosol agents. Thousands of tests were conducted over the decades, and that doesn't go without problems. In 1968, it was proven that more than 4,000 sheep in the area had died or had major issues because of a nerve agent. The Army never accepted responsibility, but they did pay the farmers for the damages. Then, in 2015, an improper shipment of anthrax sent across the country caused the federal government to step in and investigate. But no casualties occurred. Dugway is still operating today, though only with a population of a few hundred, and government and military clearance is required to enter. It is also the location for special military training exercises. I also can't forget to mention, there has been proof showing scientific experiments on humans as well as an attempt to weaponize mosquitoes at Dugway. And of course, there are not many private US military bases that don't come with some UFO conspiracies, and this one is no exception. The last town on our list is Plum Island, New York. It was originally purchased by the United States government in 1899 after the Spanish-American War. And in 1954, the Department of Agriculture established the Plum Island Animal Disease Center. The center mainly conducts research on animal pathogens, with the main focus being the preservation of the food supply. The Department of Homeland Security took over in 2003, and multiple unsuccessful attempts to sell the property followed. The intent was to use the funds to build a newer lab, possibly elsewhere, But a decrease in land values along with strong activist opposition prevented that from happening. A bill signed in 2020 should keep the property in the U.S. government's hands, which also officially makes it open to the public, along with any funds necessary for cleanup. And now you know. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Please feel free to leave a comment, like, or sub if you're feeling generous enough, and I'll see you next time.